Hello, everybody. My name is Johnny Jetrod. I want to welcome you guys to the show. Thank you very much for coming to the Johnny Jetrod show. We're going to talk about conspiracy theory thinkers today, and this is the segment that we're going to discuss the current state of the nation. Our nation is in chaos right now. Several things have happened that have created a situation where the left seeks to send our government into a state of ungovernable, and our city streets and our general population is on the brink of civil war. If you can't understand that this language I'm using here for you today is not so far out of touch, it is not so far extreme that it could not be conceived and that it could become a reality. Now, the reason why it's on the Conspiracy Theory Thinkers playlist is because many will say that I'm just raising tensions by saying that the left is creating a situation where we are on the brink of civil war. Well, you may be right. So I'll take it one step further. With the example that we saw in Charlottesville, I would say that a certain fragmented splinter organization or group, if you will, of the right has decided to go rogue and go extreme with their already extreme beliefs and attempt to create a situation where it could become inflamed to a point of which we could be on the brink of civil war. So there you have it. It's coming from both sides, and I condemn the violence anyway from both sides. But the reason I'm doing this broadcast for you today, the reason you're listening to Johnny Jetrod explain what the situation is, why it is the way it is, and what the possible outcome is because people need to talk about this. Normal, everyday Americans are only hearing one side of the story from the liberal, far left, extreme far left, in some cases, media organizations. Do you know that I spent some time this past weekend with a group of, I'll say, great Americans, and we went to go see another group of people that support a socialist communist group, and they were standing on the city hall steps with a permit to fence off the entire area where they were, reducing the opportunity for anyone other than the people who believe in their beliefs to approach them and engage in proper discourse to try and maybe understand where they're coming from, or maybe debate the issue and give them some input on where they come from, so that the communist socialist believers could have an opportunity for proper discourse. They permitted the entire area to prevent this. They did not want to hear what other people were saying. When approached, I personally approached the barrier, asked the gentleman, "What are you doing here?" He would not answer. He approached the gate, armed, ready for a fight. Armed, and I mean carrying an assault weapon. Now here you have a socialist, communist person who has created his own political party within the city that I live in, the Socialist Communist Party, which, by the way, a communist party is banned in America since the 1950s, and there are persons right now in the state of California who seek to change the language of the banning of the Communist Party in government and people of the Communist Party from serving in government They wish to change the language in order to suit their needs so that they can allow communists to serve within positions of government. But that's beside the point. The point is that we have a man that is supporting his political party that he personally created, who is armed on the city hall steps, demanding, not petitioning the government to go against the law that was created, the SB4. This man was demanding the government break the law, which, by the way, goes against his First Amendment right to protest, because a First Amendment right covers a protest, but it also covers the opportunity to petition a government entity to take a proper course of action. It does not cover the opportunity to protest and demand the government break the law, meaning not follow the anti-sanctuary city law that has been placed in place, signed into law. They wanted our current government to ignore it and demanded it. A communist party member, fully armed, on the steps, demanding the city break the law, is a situation where some people would see it in the legal or technical standpoint as holding the city hostage at gunpoint while representing an illegal political party and permitting the area, requiring police protection and barriers, is a terrible, terrible travesty. It should be illegal. The man should have been forced to immediately disarm and remove himself from the premises for the safety of the city hall employees and the mayor, in the case that this illegal political party leader who was armed decided to hold the entire city hall hostage. You say, oh, that's not going to happen, Johnny Jetrod. Really? That's what they said in Germany? Tell me it couldn't happen. So here is just one example of what's going on in America today. And they are getting a free pass. The Antifa are getting a free pass. The far left is getting a free pass. They are being funded by groups that are being funded by Soros, by banks that are provided money by Soros. Do you understand where this goes? The rabbit hole is deeper than you can imagine. Linda Sarsour is a supposed feminist Muslim, which is really an oxymoron, who seeks to commit jihad on the Trump administration. And Muslim faith is banned in this country. If Muslim faith is banned in this country from attempting a takeover of the government, you understand what I'm saying? If Muslim faith is banned in this country from a takeover of the government, then how is this woman, Linda Sarsour, able to stand in front of thousands of people and ask for jihad, in fact, demand it, require it of the people that follow her against the Trump administration? And the people that follow her, BLM, Antifa, feminist, liberal left, extreme left. You understand where I'm going with this? Several splinter groups. Now, here's the problem. Many people believe over the last course of the 8 years that have previous that were previous to the Trump administration, several people believe that the current state of the nation during those 8 years was considered progress, was considered a great accomplishment. And in certain ways it was. There were certain things that did happen that were positive to move the country forward. I will grant you that. But what I will not grant you is the fact that the Obama administration seeked to destroy the middle class, seek to destroy the poor, seek to continue to enable people to stay on government assistance, furthering the belief system that socialism is good by covertly providing the capability for a large portion of the population to engage in socialist programs provided by the government. So, what they believe is good is actually not good. It goes against the beliefs and systems of that their forefathers have set down as capitalism in government, limited government, strength in production. Why is it such a crime to certain people to say that we want to bring jobs back to America, to say that we would rather people work for their money and then receive assistance? Why is it such a crime to ask everyday Americans to better themselves and tell them, yes, we're working on a plan to lower your taxes. We're going to help you with health care. We're going to provide you jobs because the jobs are going to come back. We are going to make it easier for employers to hire people. We are going to give them a huge tax break. It is going to be easier for you to find a job. Why is that such a crime to certain splinter organizations that fall within the extreme far left? Why? It's because they believe that goes against everything that they've experienced and loved over the past 8 years. America has been coddled. America has been fundamentally changed, like Obama stated, into a coddled, weak, lazy, post-industrialized nation. A nation of freebies is a nation that's failing. A nation of people who demand they be taken care of without putting anything back into the system and being able to, but refusing to, is a nation that is failing. And Donald Trump, President Trump, has sought to turn that back around. The far left is going against it because they are continuing to follow the globalist empire lead that tells them everything Trump is doing is wrong. They are being funded by organizations. We find Craigslist ad after Craigslist ad of crowdsourcing groups that provide people, equipment, supplies, the narrative, the idea, and the training to bring groups of people to protests and political rallies just for support of the idea that is being pushed by the crowd. The crowdsourced company. It's crazy. I hope you understand what's really happening in America. You need to wake up. If you haven't woke up, you need to wake up. Do your research. Find out what's really going on. So my name is Johnny Jetrod. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. We tried several times to push it out, and Facebook dumped it a couple of times on me. But here it is. We're doing it again. A rebroadcast will come up later. If you want to become a supporter to help make this content possible, find the support links in the description below. This could not be possible without people like you. So come back next time for another installment of the Johnny Jet Rod Show Conspiracy Theory Thinkers.